Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Chastity. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, anime, TV shows, and kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. So today we are talking about shipping because I've been seeing a lot of discourse around even just the topic of should there be romance in media, whether or not people should be shipping or not. And if you've been on my channel for a little bit, I briefly talked about the fact that since I was very young, and I'm talking about all the way back in the Naruto days, I've been a very avid shipper. I was super into fan fiction when I was a kid. Shipping is in my blood. It's what I do. So I do have a lot of opinions on this, there should be no romance in real media, and there should be no shipping thing that's happening all over social media. I've been seeing a lot of people kind of treating people who enjoy to ship, enjoy romance, almost as less intelligent, and that if you enjoy romance and you enjoy, shipping, you somehow lack critical thinking skills. Those two things are not parallel in the slightest, and we're gonna get into it. This discourse definitely kicked up with the release of season 2 of The Bear. If you don't know what The Bear is, very brief synopsis. It's about a young man who leaves Chicago to become a well-renowned chef, and his brother ends up passing away and leaving his failing sub shop to him, and we kind of watch for the first season, watch him deal with the struggles of trying to run a hemorrhaging business. And then season 2 is mostly the renovation of the business and him really trying to start over and make something great. The Bear is an amazing show. As someone who has watched it, I absolutely love it, and a lot of critics and a lot of people love The Bear. The Bear did very, very well last award season, and I predict that this next award season they're going to do just as well. The Bear has amazing cinematography, has amazing characters and character development, amazing stories. The dialogue is great. There's so much amazingness in The Bear. It's a great show and it deserves all the praise that it gets. But because the show is so highly praised and it is put on a pedestal, that also garners a specific type of audience, a slightly snobby, pretentious audience. And those types of people are some of the biggest, I don't want to say haters, but they're not the biggest fans of romance and shipping. They believe that when we're talking about highbrow media, there's no place for romance, which is what a dickhead thing to believe, that this thing is so perfect and so good, love would ruin it. That this is real television, and that there is no place for silly little things like love and romance. Okay, we're telling real stories, just spitting in the face of Jane Austen. My thing with people who are anti-shipping, who hate it so much, 9 times out of 10, these ships aren't even canon, so what are you mad about? You're mad about subtext? You're mad because maybe once a season we'll get a episode with the people in the ship together, and that will be what the shipping fans have been clamoring for, and then they'll write fan fiction about it and do fan art for it. But you're upset about something that never really comes to fruition in most fandoms. And also, I would argue that shipping is what keeps a lot of these shows alive, because there's no way you believe we would have got 6 seasons of Teen Wolf without steric shippers. There's no way you believe we would have got 8 seasons of Vampire Diaries without shipping. There is no reason you believe Supernatural went on past season 6 if it was not for shipping. Because I'm gonna be honest, for Supernatural, them first 6 seasons, perfect Supernatural television. Everything past that, absolute garbage. But do you believe without distal shippers, Supernatural would have went on for 15 goddamn seasons? No, it wouldn't. In my opinion, shipping has done far more good for shows than it has bad. Now, back to The Bear. Ever since season 1, there has been a lot of pushback with people shipping Sydney and Carmy, our 2 main characters. And I am definitely going to delve deep into why y'all do that, specifically with Sydney, a little bit later. But there has been a lot of pushback. And I have been a staunch believer that Sydney and Carmi are soulmates. Now, whether the writers make it romantic or platonic, it doesn't really matter. I genuinely believe those are two characters that are meant to be in each other's lives. And I feel like if Sydney had not walked into the beef, when she did, her and Carmi were always going to be destined to meet and always destined to be in each other's lives. Again, whether that is romantic or platonic is completely up to the writers, but they are in fact soulmates. To act like Carmi and Sydney don't have any, chemistry, you're lying to yourself. There's synergy between those two characters. Again, whether or not it's romantic or platonic, wholly up to the writers. And there were a lot of people that were throwing stones at us, okay, who said they have no chemistry, y'all are just making things up. And then season 2 happened. Yup, season 2 happened, and I saw a lot of Sydney and Carmi haters switch sides, as y'all should have, because these two are magnetic together. You put these two in the scene together and you're getting something beautiful to watch. And we had so many great scenes this season, even while the writers put Carmi in a relationship with a whole nother woman. You was still shipping Sydney and Carmi because they're just that dynamic together. Now, I don't care if you don't like shipping and you don't like romance. I think that's your right, and I respect that. Respect is something a lot of you don't understand, because again, we're talking about unconsequential things that don't hurt people. So why are you so mean? Why are you so angry? Shipping does not hurt anybody. Now, I'm talking about when normal people ship, not deranged people who like to, DM and send death threats to actors because they're two characters. No. That is not a normal situation. That is a person who would act like that regardless of what their interest is. They're not acting like this because of shipping. They're acting like this because something's wrong with them. So again, in the normal circumstances of shipping, it does not hurt anybody. I don't understand why you see something that you may not like and you have to interact with it. Social media has given us far too many tools to block things and to block tags on top of that, so you don't have to interact with the things you don't like. Now, every once in a while, something does fall through the crack, because I feel like the only social media site that has an impeccable blocking system when it comes to tags is unfortunately Tumblr, but no one uses Tumblr. I still do. When I get a new hyperfixation, I jump back on Tumblr just to talk to the girls that get it, But social media gives you all the tools you need to block out the things you don't like and to curate your time. And again, every once in a while, something might slip through the cracks. But why entertain it? Why interact with the shit you don't like and make yourself miserable? If you see pages that, ship, block them. You figure out the ship name, you block the tag, and you keep it moving. There is no need to be mean and nasty and attack people because they like to ship. I feel like it's very strange that y'all get on the internet foaming at the mouth to have arguments with complete and utter strangers. Okay? It's weird. It's strange. Because the thing is, you don't have to interact with the people you don't like, because you could just tweet outside of it. You could have screenshotted it and went back to your page and talked about it there. But you purposefully quote tweeted it because subconsciously you want to go back and forth with niggas. But you don't want to admit that to yourself, and that's fine. That's fine. But you don't have to interact with shippers if you don't want to. They're not hurting anybody. Again, the normal people who are shipping are not hurting anybody. It's something of an interest. It makes being in fandom fun. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, and you also don't need to be a dickhead about it. And that goes on both sides. If you're a shipper, you have no reason to be attacking people who don't like to ship. Just block them and don't interact with them because what they want. The conversation around all of this is pretentious as hell. The idea that there is a form of media that brings smarter groups of people. Are you fucking serious? Maybe because I innately do not believe I'm better than other people, and in turn don't believe the things I'm interested in makes me a better person than others, that I just can't vibe with y'all about that. This idea that romance is so lowbrow and so beneath you, and that romance isn't real writing and isn't real storytelling, is fucking pretentious. Are you gonna tell me that authors like Frances Burney, Jane Austen, Eliza Haywood are not prolific writers just because they didn't write 1984? Don't be a dickhead. For the love of God, don't be a dickhead. It's just some of the best storytelling has romance involved in it. I think there is a way to do it. Because again, not everything in the, romance genre is like peak. Okay, some of it is trashy, some of it's, But to look at an entire genre and throw it all away because of like teen romance and shit like that is, can you be not such a fucking asshole? This entire discourse is seeped in misogyny because the things that women like, the things that women enjoy are always ridiculed. Things that are attributed to women are viewed as lesser. And romance is a genre that people equate women to, that only women read romance, that only women watch chick flicks. They're called chick flicks for a reason. And because women enjoy them, these things are low brow. Why is that? Why are the things that women enjoy ridiculed? Why are they viewed as not real cinema, as not real television? Because women enjoy them, and men believe that the things women enjoy are fucking frivolous. It's right there in front of you and you seem to refuse to see it. That you look at the things that women like and you shit on it. The most perfect example of this is Film Bro YouTube. Anytime any of these men movie commentary channels talk about movies that are geared towards women, the commentary is gutter and it's nasty. But in most of their other videos, they're relatively fair. They have their funny things to say, but they rip apart movies that are geared towards women because they're misogynistic. Because the things women like are not valued at a high level. I don't see how y'all don't see it. Like, does no one pay attention to the fact that, like, there are movies that are 100% geared towards men and they're filled with, like, toilet humor and, like, they're super violent and they're got the weird sexual shit. And no one overanalyzes and criticizes those movies because they know what they're there for. Their purpose is to be funny, to be a joke, just for a good time. There are movies just like that for women. And people write think pieces on those movies. They criticize the fuck out of those movies when they're not supposed to be serious. They're just supposed to be a cute little fun little movie, something for you and the girls. And yet that elicits a whole bunch of discourse. Why is that? Why can we take a movie meant for men at face value, but not a movie made for women? Because of misogyny, right? You're walking with me now? You're walking with me? Good. Like, nobody's writing think pieces on Hot Tub Time Machine, but you're writing a think piece on Jennifer's fucking body? Now, back on the topic of, The Bear, I don't think there's anything wrong with the show having platonic relationships. Again, I still believe that Carmi and Sydney are soulmates in whatever capacity the writers want them to be in. Those are two people meant to be. Like, there's no way you can argue with me against that. They're meant for each other in some way. But I feel like the conversation within The Bear is so disingenuous because you're acting like this is not a show already filled with platonic relationships. Because are you going to tell me that Tina and Abraham's relationship is not platonic, that Tina and Carmi's relationship is not platonic. Did we both not watch in season 2 Natalie treat Feck like her actual baby? Like that was her son all season. Was that relationship not platonic? Did we not watch the friendships between Richie, Marcus, and Feck? Like, I'm confused if we're watching the same show or not. Because this is a show filled with platonic relationships, and the romantic ones always take a backseat. Like, we got a little bit of Natalie and her husband, Pete. I actually really like Pete this season. He's a good man. We got a little bit of the relationship and the dynamic. Got a little bit with again, Carmi and Claire that crashed and burned as it should have. If you want me to like make a video talking about the relationship dynamic between Carmi, Claire, and Sydney, definitely comment below because I have a whole thing in my head talking about that. But this is a show filled with platonic relationships, whether they're same gender or whether they're different genders. So to act like we don't have that already in the show and that you're on your hands and knees begging for this one ship to not happen is fucking weird. It is not lost on me that this show only has one black woman in it, and she is constantly being pushed to platonic relationships. Because I even saw people say that like Sydney and Marcus have no chemistry, even though he literally asked her out at the end of the season, right? And the one ship that people are fine with shipping Sydney in is with Richie, which now after season 2 I am a Richie apologist, but y'all were shipping Sydney with Richie from season 1, and like I want y'all to listen to me when I explain this ship to you and tell me this don't sound fucking crazy. We have Sydney, a 20-something-year-old black woman with immense potential and talent. This woman will one day be a fucking star. And then we have Richie, a 40-year-old white man who does not have full custody of his daughter because the state of Illinois views him to be unfit. Season 1, he was an actual menace to his ex. He was damn near an absent father. She was doing the rearing of his little girl. And in season 2, he's trying, but the trying is getting her Taylor Swift tickets, and concert tickets does not erase years of fucking neglect. He is 40 years old, finally finding his purpose, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact of the matter is, you view him to be someone that Sydney should be with, but not Carmi or Marcus. Again, now I am a Richie apologist, but season 1 Richie was a fucking loser. And this is why I do not like you enemies to lovers weirdos, because you always want women with the absolute worst men. Because the ways in which Richie used to speak to Sydney, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And y'all were like, they're meant to be together. No one who loves you should ever speak to you the way Richie spoke to Sydney season 1. No. I'm sorry. If a man speaks to you like that, he hates you. We're grown-ups now. We can't do the whole, like, if he means to you, he likes you. No, we're grown-ups. If he's mean to you, he's mean to you. Okay? This is a phenomenon we have been seeing ever since black women have been getting bigger roles in film and television, where when they get paired with white male leads, all of a sudden, you know, she don't need a man, she too good for him. What happened to platonic relationships? We saw it on Sleepy Hollow. We saw it on Vampire Diaries. We saw it on The Walking Dead. We saw it on The Flash. We especially saw it in fucking Marlon. What a nasty time. Listen, all my black girls who was in the Marlon fandom, I prayed for y'all because y'all went fucking through it on that show. Anytime a black woman is being paired with a white male lead, people get to foaming at the mouth. The amount of people who were completely against Rick and Michonne, like, to this day, don't see them together. Baby, it's too late. In modern film and cinema, black women have been relegated to the roles of best friend, therapist, sometimes even comic relief. We give advice and we are confidants to our white female leads while they are pursuing their romantic endeavors. We are a support system, but we are never supported. In cinema, white women have always been the damsel in distress, someone that needs to be saved and protected and coddled, while black women have always been the help, and we've always been viewed as strong and we don't need anybody because we got ourselves. And because of these two opposing narratives, I think that's where, at least amongst women, the discourse were clashing with each other, specifically around characters like Sydney. Because for white women, they have always been the love interest. They have always been a princess, they've always been protected. And so now in modern times, they are pushing against that narrative and that stereotype. And they want to be fierce and they want to be strong and they don't need men because that's how they've always been viewed. Versus black women who have never had that type of treatment in cinema. And again, have always been the help, have always been the best friend. We don't really get to see a lot of black women being loved and being chose in cinema. So now in modern times, a lot of black women push against the notion that a black female character can't have a man. I think you can very much so be strong and powerful and still be loved on. And I do feel like that is what black women want. And that is the exact opposite of what white women want. So when white women are tapping in these conversations, being like, you don't need a man, the thing is, you've got to see yourself like that. We haven't. Black women are very much so tired of having to be strong and having to fucking save everybody and being magical Negroes. Sometimes I just want to be hugged and kissed on. And I feel like white women do not understand the fact that just because we are both women does not mean we are existing in the same way. The way people look at white women is completely different than how people look at black women. Even though we are both women at the end of the day, race still plays a big factor. And again, white women and intersectionality, it be whooping they fucking ass. Because when they hop in these conversations, you just look racist. Even if that's not your intention, that's what it gives when you are talking to a black woman who is desperately wanting to see someone who looks like her not suffer, to be loved and to be cherished. And again, some of you have good intentions, but you are not understanding how representation differs from group to group. Women as a whole do not want the same representation. And they're not really getting that. And that's where the crux of, again, some white women don't want to see black women being loved on because they're black women. But I'm trying to have a good faith argument. I'm trying to come here with good faith. And not all of you are racist and don't believe black women deserve love. Because we do. And I think some of you just don't understand that that's where we're coming from. We have years upon years upon years of media of us being strong, of us being maids and taking care of other people's children, and, being foundations and being strong. And it's time to retire that a little bit. Don't throw it away, because I feel like Michonne is probably like the best example of bringing the two worlds together, because she is a strong, fierce woman, but she got the man in the end. Oh yeah, she got her man, and she's living happy. And that is the type of stories we want, because I don't want weak, sniveling women. I really don't. I don't want to see a doormat, but I want to see black women be loved, be pampered, and being taken care of. We need more of that. But yeah, that's it for me. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on the whole situation? Are you for shipping? Are you against shipping? Is romance trash and we should just get rid of it? Ugh. Also, if you have watched season 2 of The Bear, put spoiler warnings and tell me your thoughts and opinions so we could kiki about it, because I need more people to talk about The Bear with. But yeah, that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.